Okay.
Okay. Hey everyone, my name is Austin Schur with We Write About Music, and today I'm here with Sammy Lee of Red Rain. Fresh off the release of their newest single, Not That Way, we're absolutely thrilled to have him on. Sammy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Austin. I really appreciate you having me on.
Of course, what's news on your end? Where are you at right now?
So we're out of Richmond, Virginia. So that's where I am right now. It's actually a really nice day. It was hot, so we're lucky to have that because usually around this time it's you're in the cold time, but feels like summer right now. So we're digging that.
That's awesome. Well, we're based out of Los Angeles and we're getting hit with a little bit of cold weather, which is nice because it was a super hot summer. So a little bit reversed on that end.
No, I was gonna say that's weird, man.
I know, you're telling me I had to sleep with two blankets last night. It was crazy.
That's probably unusual, I would assume, but
Exactly. Hey, so before we get into the music, I'd love to know about you and the band's relationship. How did you guys meet each other, and how long have you been playing for?
sure. So the singer and I. So let me give you, I guess, the rundown on who the
Yeah,
band
yeah,
members are. Our singer is Carlton Bubba McMichael. Bubba, the nickname, obviously.
of course.
Uh, Larry Moore is our bass player. I'm sorry. Let me go back. Carlton or Bubba is the lead singer, guitar player. Larry Moore is our bass player. We have Stevie Shred, who is our lead guitar, backup vocals, and then myself, Sammy, who's the drummer. Bubba and I have known each other for 25 years. We've been in and out of bands together. Took a break, and we had written a couple songs before we kind of took this break, and we just wouldn't let it go. And without going into everything and every single detail, we decided to get back together and rewrite these songs and put out our EP, which is what we did.
Very cool. Well, congratulations.
And that's a
I've
quick overview.
Of
So I'm sorry.
course, of course. Well, I've listened plenty of times at this point, and I'm loving what I'm hearing. It,
Thank
it
you very much.
definitely kind of encapsulates rock and roll at its finest.
Thank you so
So,
much.
yeah, yeah. Is this upcoming release something that was initially planned between you guys, or was this more of like a we're locked down and in quarantine, just gotta play some music and stay busy?
Well, I'll be honest with you. The song has been out. We released an EP a couple years ago, and
Okay,
the song was out on the EP. Um, so we worked with a gentleman named David Ivory, who wonderful producer, and we recorded this 5-song EP. What we did is we had actually been on tour in February, right before COVID hit, and then COVID hit, and some of our other shows were canceled. So we're trying to find a way to sort of, I don't want to say reinvent ourselves, but we are writing new material and actually getting ready to go in the studio to start recording. But we wanted to kind of use a prelude to that, so we remixed Not That Way,
got it.
and so it's more of a, and the song's not that old, but we wanted to bring it into today's type of sound,
Of
and so
course.
that's what we did. So we brought out Not That Way, get people back interested, because with COVID everybody's sort of dormant, and now we're going to start hitting people with brand new tunes.
Awesome. So is Not That Way going to be sort of like indicative of a future sound? Are you going to be headed in this direction as far as how it sounds now? Or are you going to be
Well,
switching things up?
that's a really good question, and so that it's an interesting question. It's kind of hard to answer, and I'll tell you why.
There's
That
no right answer. There's no wrong answer.
Sure, but you want to have your signature sound.
Hmm.
I mean that's important. So we're gonna try to keep that sound going. When we write, and the songs that we write, um, there's not really a real hard process to what we do. We write what we like, and we write what kind of jams and fits in the mold of what we do, and then we kind of sprinkle it with salt and pepper, which is the producer
Of
making
course.
it a certain way. But yeah, as far as the sound goes, we're gonna keep the same sound. We always have. Our sound has never changed.
Okay. Because,
If
yeah,
that,
you know what? You got to make music for yourself first and foremost. If
right.
you're happy with it and it shows within the music, then everyone else is going to be happy with it as well.
And I agree. And it's funny. I've been asked many a times about why the songs sound a certain way, or why the songs you know reminiscent of some of the 70s or 80s music. And the thing is those are our influences, and so it doesn't matter who you are, your influences will always creep into what you write, and that's just the way it
Always.
is, always.
Always.
So yeah, so we have that influence, and so so that's just going to be the way it is. But we also kind of have a little bit of a mold. I mean, I'm a I say this to everybody. I'm a Van Halen fan. I'm a David Lee Roth Van Halen fan, and
Sure.
so I like the mold of they've been classified as, in Aerosmith the same way, as an American rock and roll band, and that's sort of what we're just trying to do. We're just trying to have rock and roll. It's not a hard formula. It really is.
It's really not, but you know what? It always kind of hits home when you get it right, and when you get it right.
Right,
Um,
right.
and that was actually going to be one of the things that I also asked you was, obviously you guys do have your own sound, but there's always going to be those inspirations that creep up. And you mentioned Van Halen, you mentioned Aerosmith. Who have been more of your influences, and who's kind of creeping into your sound, mainly that you grew up listening to, and now too?
Sure. So for me, it's always Van Halen.
Of course.
But Larry, our bass player's sort of a Queensryche-ish Rush fan, and
Oh, yeah.
and yeah, bringing that in. Stevie's sort of all over the place. I mean, he's Dokken, a little bit of Poison, a little bit of that type of era. And Bubba's all over the place. Bubba's listened anywhere from 60s to 80s to 90s. I don't think there's much influence of 90s music as there is 80s for us.
Sure.
So, we're not one foot in the grave guys, but we're not in our 20s. So,
Of course.
so our influences come from the 80s a lot. And, and that's who we have listened to, and that's who we've actually been touring with over the last couple of years.
Nice. So, has there been anything maybe in like the last 10 years that you guys have been listening to that's like a more like, not necessarily like new age rock, but more just like a current rock sound that you've been checking out?
I can't answer for the other guys. For me, not really.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. It's funny. During the week, I don't really listen to music anymore.
Right, because mixing your job and pleasure can be hard. So I totally understand it. I mean, yeah, I listen to music all day, and sometimes you just
I will
don't
tell you
want to
this, though.
anymore.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I will tell you,
No, no, no.
I just found the most interesting thing the other day. I found a song that was rocking. It won't get out of my head, and it was from the Osmonds.
You're kidding.
No, I'm
When
not
was it
kidding.
released?
1971 or two. Not that that's an influence, but
Sure.
every now and then I'll scour and I find these old songs, and there are a couple like Avenged Sevenfold's a little newer, and I like them a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I listened to a band called Adrenaline Mob. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
I haven't actually.
Yeah, it was one of Mike Portnoy's bands that are
Okay.
really good. Dream Theater. I do like Dream Theater, but I'm a creature of habit, unfortunately.
It's what it's really whatever makes you happy, and
Yeah.
in tough times like these, finding little bits of happiness, even if it's crawling back to what you listened to in the past. I feel myself doing the same, so I don't
Yeah.
blame you. I don't blame you one bit. Aside from making music, though, how's day-to-day life going? What's bringing you joy in this world?
Well, so that's an interesting question. Well, I get up and go to work every day, which keeps me busy.
Of course.
What makes me happy is, I have a family, I have a wife, and I have a daughter, and so that's that always is interesting and keeps you busy.
Yeah.
And now with COVID and schoolwork, we always have to stay on our daughter, and not stay on her, but stay with it and
Of
make sure
course.
that everything's getting done, and with the virtual. So that's always good. And to sort of go to kind of bring it back to the band a little bit,
Yeah.
we've been on and off shows and touring for a while. That if there's nothing great about what's been going on in the world, let's say that. But
Yeah.
if there's one glimmer of one little small ray of sunshine for the band is we finally been able to slow down to write the new material that we've been doing. So that's been keeping,
100%.
yeah, that's been keeping us busy, and it's good. You know, the creative juices have been flowing, which is great. So we're really excited about that. Other than that, you know, I try to stay a positive person day to day. You
Of
know,
course.
and, how
No,
about you? Let's turn this on you. I mean, how do you? I mean, what do you do daily that stays positive?
I mean, you know, as much as I wish that I was reviewing music all day, which I am, you know, I also have a normal day job that keeps me busy.
Right.
I don't have a wife or kids. I just
Okay.
have an awesome roommate that we just hang out and watch TV and movies. And, you know, honestly, really not a ton. Try to stay inside as much as possible. You know, lots of Zoom chats with family and this and that. But, just trying to find a way in the world basically
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's
It's
crazy.
tough. And obviously, you know, listening to music and doing all that stuff, but just trying to also stay busy, stay positive, and
It's the
you
one
know,
thing you can do. That's good. I
it
like that.
really is. It really is. So you know, I really don't want to take too much of your time, so I'll just ask a
I'm good.
few
Ask
more.
away.
You got it. So, first off, where can the listeners and viewers check out your music?
Okay, so we're on almost every downloadable music site. We're on iTunes and Google and Amazon. Probably, I think I got this right, so don't hold me to it. I don't
All right.
believe the new remix version is out yet,
Okay.
but all the other versions are out. So, and I'll just let you know it's Red Rain, and it's REIGN. So it's Red REIGN.
Got it.
You can look us up at redrainband.com. And we're also on Facebook at Red Rain Band, and we're on Twitter at Red Rain Band, and we're on Instagram at Red Rain Band. So those are the places
Awesome.
you can follow us.
No, awesome. Yeah. So, you know, this video was great, and we'll definitely be uploading it to all our channels as well. But we'll also
Great.
be doing a review of the music, and we'll plug all your stuff here and there.
That's great.
So yeah, you know, I kind of just wanted to open it up and say, you know, if there's anything that you wanted to hear from us, or if there's anything that you kind of wanted to, you know, talk about specifically, I'm happy to discuss it. But really, otherwise, we're really looking forward to the new music that's coming out. And like I said, I love the original version of Not That Way. So a remix kind of 2020 version of it should be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we're really excited to get the new music out. The song that we're actually getting ready to lay down this weekend, we've only played once live, and it went over really well. We've tried not to, but we had to play a show where we had to actually extend. You know, when you're an opener, you know, you're the before band, you only get so much time, and then there was an issue, and they were like, "Well, can you go a couple more minutes more?" So we played it, but it went over really
Okay.
well live. So we're really feel good about it. In the meantime, we're knocking out some other tunes that we're really comfortable with. But yeah, I mean, you know, look, we're just doing our thing, you know,
I know.
and you know, we're the type of band. You know, it's funny that you said that. You said something earlier that really kind of struck a chord. It was, you know, when you go out and write the music for you, you know, you're happy. You know, you know, I don't remember verbatim what you said, but I remember that you said, you know, when you play it for you, it feels better. And I can tell you, the one thing about this band is we're a live band. I mean, we are. We
Right.
love playing live. We enjoy being together. You know, I've got. We always say we're a van full of smart asses. You know, you know,
Of course.
you ask a question, you're quick to get jumped on by the other three. We
That's
pick
just friendship, though.
yeah, but the one thing that I love about this band is when it's go time. And when it's go time, the
Right.
guys are professional. We get done. You know, I know within the past, you know, a lot of people I've played in bands before before showtime, you know, people kind of have a few drinks, maybe too many, or you know,
Mhm.
get them. We don't. It's a business, and you know, it
It
comes down
absolutely is a business.
and it's fun business, and it's
Well,
an exciting
yeah.
business. But if you know, if you're not careful, and try to make it, you know, this is my opinion though. If
Mhm.
you try to make it too much fun and too loose, and like, hey, let's have a drink, then it can slip away from you. So you got to kind of, be on your P's and Q's.
I completely agree. And because, okay, so listen, like, especially as an opener band, if you're lucky enough for people to get there early and see you play, and they've never heard of you, your playing is an advertisement. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Right.
if you're getting too nuts before, then yeah, it's going to slip away, and you're not going to be playing at 10 out of 10. You might slip up, and that's that, because you've only got so much time to really impress the listener and the watcher before they go to the bathroom or they get another drink. You want to hook them in. You
Right.
want to
Yeah.
keep them
Have,
interested.
right. You do. You have to capture that attention the minute they see you. I mean,
Exactly.
the first 2 minutes are crucial. It really is. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Seriously. Well, that comes down to set list too. If you're not hooking them in the first 2 minutes with something that they're like, oh, that's pretty great, then you've lost them.
Right.
So I feel that all, drinking and doing drugs or whatever, yeah, like it's definitely part of the rock and roll scene, but maybe save it for after you're done playing. you
Right.
know,
Right. Right.
do what you
And
got to
it's funny.
do, but it's business.
And it's funny, just like you said, even the opening song. I mean, there's a lot of thought that goes into that. There
Oh
really
yeah,
is. I remember the first tour we were on, we were like agonizing over it. It's like,
right.
one guys would say, well, this would be better. Like, no, no, no. And then, it's, you've got to sort of kick in the door when you open that first two notes, like you said. So yeah, there's a lot of thought that goes into everything. With us, probably too much thinking. I do all the business work for the band.
Okay.
So I'm sort of the liaison between the guys and our publicity team and our management team and all that. So I'm very protective of the band, and I'm very protective of the brand. And so
You
um,
have to be. It is a
yeah,
brand. It is a
it is
brand.
a brand, and that's what I do. That's what I do in my full-time job. I work for a marketing company, promotional marketing company.
Oh,
So
nice.
I know, you know, in the years that I've been doing it, that, yeah, it is a brand, and you got to treat it like that. So we're protective, but we try, and I'm not saying I'm not saying we haven't failed at some point, but
What
we've
band
tried,
hasn't?
well, true, but we've tried to methodically, every move we make is calculated.
Okay.
It really is. It really is. And people think like, oh, we'll go in the studio, we'll throw a couple demos out, and we'll
No.
we'll send it out. It's got to be more calculated. That you got to know who you're sending it to. You got to know, like, when we were looking for our publicist. I didn't look for a publicist who was, the publicist of Barry Manilow or Barbara Streisand. I
Of
mean,
course.
you've got to find the genre, and we found the most perfect guy, who Chip Ruggieri of Chipster PR, who manages bands that are in the genre that we're in. So,
Right.
I mean, not manages, excuse me, is the PR for the bands that we're in. I mean, so, and so that was a calculated thing. We didn't blanket PR firms. We blanketed the
Yeah.
ones that we thought, yeah. So,
Well,
so
that's the
I,
thing. Yeah, you have to be with like-minded people, because if
right,
they're,
right,
managing jazz bands or whatever it is, something that isn't you, they're not going to have your best interest at play, and they just may not know what they're doing. So, but it sounds like you guys are on the right path here.
we're trying. And, to go back to that, it's like, I know some people who did go to like a management who had like, I think one was a disco that had a disco band and had another band, but and that's great. And that's great that somebody takes a chance. The problem is if they don't know your genre and don't really know how to market you, it doesn't matter. I mean,
Right.
really, it all goes into that calculation. So we've been lucky. We've so far, every move we made has worked. I mean, we have failed a couple times, but you
Sure.
dust yourself off and you get back on the horse. So it's a fun ride, no matter
Of
what
course.
happens. It's a fun ride.
Well, thankfully, there's always room for more rock bands in the world, so I think you guys could definitely find your place.
Well, I hope so. Sometimes I got to be honest. Sometimes I kind of weep for the future of rock and roll.
Yeah, nowadays there's few and far between bands that are doing it right. I feel that there's a lot of mixing genres as opposed to like what you guys are making, that is just like straight pure rock and roll.
Right.
But then again, you know what? The world, and I guess the music industry, kind of needs bands like you guys to keep it pure, because there's always going to be people that are wanting that sound. You
Right.
know what I
Right.
mean? And I guess now in just today's day and age, when music has never been so accessible than now. Again, you have to impress with everything that you put out, whether you're featured on a playlist and you get one song to really loop them in for them to check out your Spotify page or head to
Right.
your Instagram or whatever it is. So the quality has to be high just because the pool has gotten so much larger.
Absolutely, and that could have said it better myself. That's absolutely true. But again, you're right. If you're not true to yourself, then it doesn't really
Mhm.
matter, in my opinion. And these everything that I said is always my opinion, because there's always somebody's going to say, "Oh, you don't know what he's talking about," and maybe I don't, but that's how we feel, and so that's what I speak for as our band. But you're right. I mean, the pool is grown so much, and but we feel like. And listen, there's so much great music out there. And there's great music I haven't even heard. I mean,
Oh yeah, every
um,
day there's someone new coming out with
there's
something.
somebody new, and but I am a pure. I don't want to say I'm a purist. I'm old school. I
Mhm.
like bass, drums, guitar. I don't, of course you put some stuff, but I don't like auto tune, and I don't like
Oh, same.
the mixing all, like redoing all these mixes. It's just not for me. I
Sure.
do like the sort of broken down core of rock and roll,
Well, like
and
I
that's what.
said, it's yeah, if you're not happy with the music that you're making, if you're making music for what you think the general public is going to like and not what, the members in the band are going to like,
Right.
honestly, what's the point? You're just faking it. And then it,
You'll lose every time.
as much as it's already a business right now, then it even becomes more of a business because you're catering to people that aren't yourself.
Right, right, right.
So,
But listen, man. I mean, everybody to each his own, and everybody has. I would never ever say to somebody, "Oh, that's just not good." I mean, everybody has different artistic visions, and everybody has their way that they think that they can express themselves, and I think that's great. And again, being a Van Halen fan, I have all these people like on my Facebook wall sending me these, young kids playing Eruption, going, "Hey, did you see this?" That's the greatest thing in the world, to watch some of
yeah,
these young kids not only listening to some of the older bands, but just playing instruments again. Because I think that's sort of becoming
exactly,
a losing art.
exactly.
I really do. I think it's becoming a losing art, and it's sad.
Hmm.
Sad.
I fully agree. It's you can buy a computer and that's the instrument, and then you can
Right.
learn to. I mean, obviously you can be talented at the production on the computer and this and that, but yeah, kind of losing the art of playing a guitar, picking up a bass or whatever it is. I mean, personally speaking, I'm so happy that I was raised in a very musical family,
Right.
with surrounded by more instruments that you could pick up, and yeah, learning all those things, learning how to play the guitar and other instruments was definitely instrumental to the music that I listen to today. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, I have to thank my parents for that one. It really comes down to how you're raised.
Yeah, I agree. But it opens up so many doors. Again, you don't have to play rock and roll to open the doors.
Of course
Like,
not.
yeah, sure. But I'm saying it's so. I mean, I still sometimes get chills just going into band rehearsal. Like, I sit at my kit and I,
Yeah,
I just warm up, and it's like, I'm
this is real, I'm doing
it's
something, it's
and
a
the fact that
physical
I can
thing.
actually, yeah, the fact that I can actually keep time is even
Right.
more important. So, but
I
no,
mean, that's
it's
a hassle on its own, but
yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of problems that go with drumming. No, but I'm saying I've been doing it for a long time, not at this level, but local bands and other stuff. But it's still fun. It's still fun.
right.
When you come out there and you hit that first note, it's a ball, man. And I would hope that anybody in the music business could ever feel that when like, it took me later to go on a real tour, and
Hmm.
um, it was like, wow, I felt like I was 10 years old again. So
That's awesome.
it's great. Yeah, it's just awesome. So
Well, I gotta say, if you guys ever find your way out west in Los Angeles, I'd love to see you guys play live. Like I said, I've loved what I've heard so far, and you definitely strike me as a live band.
we appreciate that. Thank you. We'd love to get out that way.
One
So
day,
far
it'll happen.
we've basically toured the East Coast. We've been up to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Erie, Pennsylvania, all the way down to South Carolina right now. So that's where we've been playing a lot. So we need to get out more. But again, this is good for us to get out this new music. We're expanding the way we're getting the music
Of
out with
course.
the help of a person like yourself, which again we can't thank you enough
Oh, you're
for
welcome.
spreading the word.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but so that's the plan as of right now, and we do have a couple shows. Well, we have one show right now with another one pending, beginning of 2021. If it happens, it happens. I don't know, so we'll see.
Well, I'll cross my fingers it does.
Well, I appreciate it, and this has been great. I hope I haven't disappointed.
No, not in the slightest. But yeah, thank you so much again for your time. Again, this is Sammy Lee of Red Rain. You can find all their music by clicking all the links below that we're going to add. And yeah, man, I hope you have a great rest of your night. Thank you so much again for your time.
You as well, Austin. It was a pleasure meeting you, and thanks again for helping spread the word of the band.
Absolutely. Take care.
You too.
All right. I'll see you
Bye bye.
later. Bye bye.
Bye bye.